Hey everybody, thanks for all of your questions. There's a lot of good ones. If you have a question, you can use the hashtag askmemo on Twitter. Did you tune or adjust your table saw when you got it? No, I didn't. I got it out of the box and I set it up and it works, and I never do anything to it. Why spray lacquer instead of spray polyurethane? I've never used spray polyurethane. Maybe I'll give it a shot. My guess is it takes longer to dry. I don't know. What do you do about all the bugs and termites with your free pallet wood? We do live in kind of a termite area, but I just check them out before I use them and make sure there's no bugs. Actually, I do get bugs living on them, but none that are eating them. I just have to brush the bugs off of them. Earwigs. I get a lot of earwigs living on my pallet wood. I bought some fast setting wood glue. 6 hours later, it was still wet despite being left outside in the sun. I'd say that's not very fast setting. Paint projects feel sticky after drying. Sometimes paint just feels tacky for a day or so until it cures. I would give it a day or so, and if not, then you probably screwed something up. Can you make a cribbage board? Yeah, I've had people ask me about cribbage boards. The thought of drilling all of those holes in exact spots just kind of, What are your favorite tools? I don't have favorite tools, and I don't think you should either. I don't think people should fall in love with a certain tool. Just use a tool for the job it's intended for, and then move on with your life. Where can I get Paduk? Well, actually, the bigger question is, where can you get exotic lumber? It depends upon where you live. Check with some lumber yards if you have any nearby and see if they have hardwoods. I'm lucky enough, I have Rafael Lumber, which is just a few miles from me, that has a pretty good selection. From what I hear, if you buy hardwood or exotic woods online, you get really good wood because, they want to pick out and find really good pieces to send to you so that you don't send it back because you didn't like it. Would you ever do a multi-part project so you could make something bigger? From a video making perspective, it's death, because if say I have a 3-part series on something, if somebody say I'm going to build a dresser, the first part of that, if somebody doesn't like that dresser, they're not going to watch the next 2 parts. And anytime anybody who has a multi-part series, you'll see your view rates decline with each one. So you could be losing viewers every time you post a new one. That said, I do want to make some bigger projects. My wife has been really wanting me to build her a sewing cabinet, so I've been working on that design, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that in addition to my regular videos. I'll just try to keep working on this side project, if you will. And whenever I get a chance, I'll just add a little bit more to it, shoot some video of it, and then, once a week or so, I'll just post kind of an update of that, not my regular Friday video. I'm not sure if I'll post it on Mere Minutes or on the regular channel, but that's kind of my idea. If I can take in all of that work, I don't know. I've been talking about doing this for a long time, but it's hard to find the time. Why the blue tape on your tools? Mostly it's because it's not fair to paid tool advertisers like Microjig that these other tool companies are, essentially getting a free ride. Should an outfeed table be dead even with a tabletop? I'm not sure. I don't use an outfeed table that much, but whenever I do use an outfeed table, sometimes I set up some rollers back there, and it's usually just lower. It's not even. How do you make the one-to-one templates for your projects? I design all of my 2D templates in Illustrator just because I've used Illustrator for years and it's really easy for me. And then what I do is I set them up on 8.5 by 11 pieces with some bullets on there so you can line them up, and then I import all of that stuff into Adobe InDesign along with any SketchUp plans, renderings, and make a PDF of it. Adam wants to see the inside of my router cabinet. First of all, everybody always asks me for plans for this router table. I don't have any. I just kind of made this up on the fly with a few hand-drawn sketches. This was before I learned how to use SketchUp, but one of these days I plan on going back and maybe drawing up some plans for this. The one thing that I really wish I had done differently are the drawers. This drawer I love. I wish they would all been just like that. And in this drawer I keep my screwdriver for taking the insert plate off, and I don't know, my little adjustments and just all the little accessories for the router. But these drawers, you see how they are? They've got like this little short tray in here. And my idea when I built these was that I was going to make some inserts to hold router bits, little ones that would just drop in individual holes. I never did get around to that, and I don't think I am going to get around to it. So in the end, I'm left with these kind of stupid drawers that don't do me any good. And I also made these runners way too wide. These runners on here are about an inch wide, and they don't need to be that big. So they just take up space, and it's always hard to get stuff in there. In here, this is my dust collection. All of the sawdust just collects down in there. I don't know if you remember when I built this, I put a dust collection port on the back of this, but my shop vac isn't strong enough to suck it out, you know, when I'm using it. But then I figured I don't really need it because it all just collects down in there, and so every once in a while you can just vacuum it out. It's not that big of a deal. Thanks for all your questions. If you have questions, I'll do this again. Just go over to Twitter and use hashtag askmemo.